Hello, it's Annie from Vintage Lace Journal, and I'm here today with a quick make, and it's going to be making one of these little pockets from one sheet of paper. This is, I'll tell you measurements in a moment for that. So what you do is you get this fold, you get a pocket here, and a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. Now this could be used in your journal a couple of ways. So if I just get one of my journals that I've made, you could sew this into the centre of your journal. If I can find the centre of my journal. So when you go to sew your journal together with your binding there, you could sew this in as well. Okay, and that will give you the pockets to use like that. Or don't decorate the outsides, and you could stick it to a page in your journal this way. Okay, so you still have the pockets here. And then you could also, if you glued it just along this edge here and here, you then get a pocket here. And on the other side, again, if you glued it just down this edge and this edge here, you could then make a nice big pocket in there. Okay, so there's two ways that you could then put these into your journals. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I've got a piece of paper here. I'm using sheet paper out of a big book that I've bought from the charity shop. And this measures 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So 11 inches along and 8.5 inches down. Now the first thing you're going to do once you've got your paper measured is to fold it up horizontally. So bring the bottom up to the top and then burnish that crease. Now you're going to fold in half the opposite way. So bring the left over to the right. And then again, crease and really burnish that line. Okay, I'm just going to bring this down just a little bit. So once you've got it like this, you're then going to open it out. Okay, now just for video's sake, I'm just going to ink this middle line because you do need to see where this is to do your next fold. So just so it's a bit easier for you to see, that's the middle line. Okay, so you're now going to bring the left hand piece of paper over, but not right up to that crease. I'm going to leave it about ½ an inch. You can just eyeball this, and depending on how wide you want yours to be. Okay, so I've just brought it over. I'll just quickly ink this edge as well so you can see. Okay, so there's about ½ an inch here. And again, I'm going to do the same on the other side. So eyeballing that, creasing it over, and then giving those a good burnish. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to get my scissors. Now I'm going to cut. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kind of like panels here. So I've got a fold there and a fold here. Okay. So on this panel down the bottom here, I'm going to roughly cut in ½ an inch again. So go up to that first crease line and then cut out there. And the same on the other side. So go down roughly ½ an inch and then cut those out there. Okay, so that creates this kind of shape at the bottom. You're now going to get your corner rounder and round this corner here. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can leave it straight, it doesn't matter. And you're going to corner round this corner here. There we go. Now when we fold that back up again, what's happened is that's made these second pocket corner here round on that side. Okay, so now we're going to take the top flap and we're going to fold that back. So the top part here will come down to this side here. So bringing that over and folding that down. So as you can see now, that's created our pocket in here and our pocket behind. So same on the other side, take your top layer and fold that over. There we go, and just created all your pockets. Now that is all the folding we're going to do. What I did next on mine is I went round with my ink and I've inked all the parts I need to ink. So this edge here and this edge here, I find inking edges obviously shows you where your pockets are a little bit easier. You can choose brown ink, green ink, whatever fits in with your project. I was doing tropical birds, so I've obviously done it with the green ink. Okay, so if I just show you, don't do any gluing first, we're going to ink these edges. So I'm just going to bring in my acrylic block, and I'm using Distress Ink Shabby Shutters, this one's called. Okay, so first of all I'm going to go around the edges nice and easily to start off with. And because this is music paper, it's quite thin, so obviously it's tricky to do these parts here. Okay, so I've gone around the main part of my text. I'm now going to do the front pockets, so I'm going to ink along this section here and this section here to show that that's a pocket. And it's easy while this is still open, we can still open this, to open it and do it like that. And again on the other side. While it's still open. And you can keep checking by folding and checking. Okay, so that's the outside pockets done. I'm now just going to go around these two sections here. So again, open that up. This is where you need to be just a little bit careful because obviously this is now quite thin and it bends quite easily. Like so. Okay, and on the other side. And just again, fold it all back in and double check that you've got everything you need. I did do this part down here before, just going to go over it again. So that's all my inking done. Oh no, it's not. Because I am going to decorate the outside of this, I am going to do the outside part as well. So just go around with green ink. And again on the back. So depending on how you're going to use this in your journal, that will determine where you're going to ink or you're not going to ink. Okay. So now we're going to think about where we need to glue. So get my glue in. So the first glue thing we're going to make is the back pocket. Okay. So when you open this pocket up out here, you're going to run some glue just along this bottom edge here to seal that pocket shut. And the same on the other side. So just down this bottom edge here and glue shut. Now the reason why we don't go up the side as well is because obviously that's quite a tight tuck in there, so it gives you more of a space for that to actually open up to be able to put your things inside. Okay, so that's created our first two back pockets. The next part we're going to glue is this little section just down here, which will then create our front pocket in here. So bringing in the glue again and glue that front part down, and on the opposite side. There we go. Just be careful if your glue seeps out there, because if you don't wipe it, it will actually stick things together. The last little glue I'm going to do, you don't have to do this, but I want these bits to be staying back, so I'm just going to put a little blob of glue there. Whoop. Sticky fingers. And a little blob of glue just in there, just a little blob to hold it, because you can still have these like looking up like the little tuck spots, but that just holds them down. So that's all of our folding, all of our gluing, and that's how you make your little book. So obviously again, like I said, you can stitch this in and have that there. You can put another pocket on the front and the back if you use it like that. or like I'm going to do, I'm going to now decorate the front and back of mine. So if you remember the other day, or the other week now, I created these clusters with all bits and pieces. So some tea dyed paper, some scrapbook paper, coffee dyed paper, a little bit of a doily there. I'm going to now glue that on the front of my book. So I'm just going to go around with my ink. Okay, and I'm going to glue that way. Chucking stuff around. Centralise that in there. And then charity shop find again. Know how much I love my charity shops. Tropical Birds. Absolutely fantastic book. It is jam-packed full of these beautiful images. How gorgeous is that? Every single page has got some stunning birds on it. So I've decided to cut some of those out for my front, and that will sit nicely on my cluster there. So cluster stuck on. Quite a nice thing to do is if you've got no crafting to do, which you always have, but just to sit and fussy cut in front of the television. I'm going to pop that there. And in the book as well, obviously because we've got pictures, we've also got words. So look out for some kind of heading you could use. Birds of the tropical grassland. At the back as well, there's birds in danger. Just find words that you might want to use. I think I'm just going to cut out the word birds. Birds of the tropical islands, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go around, cut that out. Sorry. I'm going to put birds of, and then the tropical islands down the bottom. So birds of there. I'm just going to ink this with brown ink this time, just to lift it up from the green. This is where you get your fingers covered in ink because it's so tiny. You can't help but ink yourself as well as inking the words. There we go. And I'm just going to use a glue stick for this. So I find this easier. Get your glue stick like that. And then I just pop it on and with my finger, just rub it over the top. So birds of, and again, just rubbing it down with my finger. The tropical islands. So that's my front cover done, using that lovely cluster we made the other week. I'll glue that little bit of doily down. And then we're going to think about doing the inside. Okay, so again, what you can do is you can fussy cut some birds out. So what I did on this one is I used a part of the text. Okay, so this is a book page from the book. Obviously I'll cut this image out, but on both sides here we've got text. So all I did was just to tear around like that. Okay, I'm going to do it the opposite way around this time. So again, I'm going to ink that with brown, just so it's different from the green. Pop some glue on the back. And I'm going to pop that there. Then I'm going to think about what image to use. So have a quick look in the book. I want quite a small bird to go in there. Oh, that's quite a nice one. Is that going to be too big? Might be a bit too big. I'm not going to waste my video time showing you this. I have got loads of I found these the other day at my local craft shop. They're A5 folders. So anything that's waiting to be fussy cut, I've just been popping inside these folders. Another great storage recommendation because they're obviously now flat, and I know where all my birds are when I want to find a bird to cut out. I think I might choose that one. It's not too bad. There we go. Now, because this is a pocket that doesn't open up down the bottom down here, so I could overlap that there, so that fits just fine. There we go. Pop you down there. And then I'm going to do the same like I did on this page on the opposite page over here. So I'm just going to bring in that book page again with the text. And I want something a bit bigger to go in here this time. And it's quite good to know that obviously all the words on your text are going to be relating to the subject of your mini folder. So my great peninsula, all those lovely words. Pop around the edge. Again, glue that down. And that will just decorate the front of that side. And again, going back in, see if I can find a bird. It's going to be roughly that size. There we go, so just pop some glue on the back. I can't pick it up. And pop him or her there. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that. You could do other things down here if you wanted to. You can have some lace and go to town with this. The last thing I'm going to show you how to do using book pages is again bring back in the bird book, so all words are going to be relevant. And look for a page that's got writing on both sides. So this is perfect. I'm going to pull that out. And I'm going to use that text to make a tag. So I'm just going to cut along the bottom. Save my birds in my folder. So I'm going to fold it across like that, and then I'm going to glue my two pieces together. So that makes this stronger as a tag, so it makes it thicker. And obviously again you're using the types of words that you would want to find on a book tag. Okay, now you can leave it as a scrappy edge there. I don't mind a scrappy edge. Okay, and then I'm obviously going to make this into a tag. So I'm going to cut my corner this side, use that corner by turning it over and putting it on this side so your corners do match. There we go. So nice easy way to make a quick tag. And I'm going to pop round with some brown ink. Squeaky squeaky. And I've got some of these old pages from the text there, so I'm just going to cut that down a little bit just to make a tab like I showed you the other day. So roughly want my tab about that big. So fold it in half. Okay, and then you're going to put glue all in the middle. Then bring in your tag. Now pop this down. So my centre part is here, but I don't want it right up to the centre. I want to leave that little tab at the top. So pop it roughly about there. Fold it over. And there we go. We've created that little tab on the top. So the next thing I'm going to do on here is like I did with this tag, I'm going to bring in some stamps just to give a bit more interest to this background. So I'm just going to get my black ink, and this is just one of those random texts, you can't actually read what it says kind of stamps. I'm just going to pop that on top and the excess on the back, so that just gives that little bit of extra interest. And then I've got some little splats. Again, another little stamp from a stamp set. And I'm going to use brown ink this time. Just want them to be subtle. So, just random little splats. Okay, and that just gives that tag just a little bit of interest. And then again, I'm going to find a bird to pop onto my tag. So there we go. I'm going to pop him or her down there. And again, you could add some words on the bottom if you wanted to as well. Alright, so that tag I'm going to just pop in my pocket there. No, I'm not, because it's too wide. I'm going to pop it in that pocket there. Okay, so obviously if I want to make a tag for there, I need to measure it. So there we go, our nice little quick make pocket. And I've decorated one with birds. Obviously you can decorate yours however you want to. And then I've suggested the two ways you can add these in a journal, by either putting it in and binding it as part of your journal, or folding it this way and having your page in between here. So you've got a pocket on one side of your page and a pocket on the other side of your page. So there we go, our two little one-page wonder pockets. Thanks again for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!